episodes.
Hello, this is Kyra Pierce. Welcome to Just Saying. Like, comment, subscribe.
It's interesting how
A
all of this red
Netflix
pill
movie.
garbage, how it has possibly morphed. Because I'm not in the West, so I don't know how it's being used among young people. Uh, but the show seems to imply or seems to indicate that red pill affiliation or red pill association is kind of equivalent to being an incel, and it's being used as an insult, an insult for someone who will never be with a woman, for a boy who will never have a chance to be with a woman.
Sad, very sad. This is
Which
the
is
type of stuff they
actually,
promote
interestingly,
and
the
put out
opposite trajectory
here.
it can go in, which is what I used to talk about in the Power Moon channel, which is that when you take this sort of an attitude towards women, it sentences you to a life of loneliness and masturbation. Really, there's not, because no one's going to want to be with you, because it's such an angry, resentful, hostile, adversarial attitude that's not in the slightest bit manly or masculine. It's only off-putting for any woman, unless she's a woman with extremely low self-esteem, which is what they seek. And I think that the interesting thing about it is that people can sniff out that this offensive approach to women, as opposed to offensive, hostile, adversarial, confrontational, aggressive, that it is actually defensive. That the root of it is defensive. Because you actually are insecure, you actually are weak, you actually are intimidated by women. So you take this posture towards women, and it just goes from bad to worse.
Right, it
Because you can't be
does.
normal. So anyway, I mean, the
It's
show.
not normal
Again, I
behavior.
don't know how it has actually developed in the West. I mean, I know that there was still, to a certain extent, I guess, from what I can see
It's
on
a
the
lot of
social
mans
media,
that bash women, mistreat
there's still people
women.
who are falling for the red pill
Right.
idea,
Shouldn't be falling for that.
attitude or approach, or what's the word they use? Praxology. Make it sound like it's scientific.
Right.
And with the 80-20 nonsense, like people can't look at their own parents. With this 80-20 nonsense, that 80% of the women are only attracted to 20% of the men, and yet everybody's married and having kids. Okay. Yes, we are here. Where we are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can see your own father was able to get somebody, and his father, and his father, and his father. Okay, whatever. So I don't know. There seems to be still some people who are falling for that and thinking that it's good. But according to what the show is indicating, among, say, high school age, middle school age people, it's a derogatory term for someone who is a loser. Bullied people who are bullied, and that following red pill ideology or red pill attitude.
Right. That red pill mess needs to be terminated.
An involuntary celibate.
People need to be careful what they following and going along with.
This whole thing, this is why it's very strange, and I always found
And
it
they
very strange
promoting
and
this to our
very
children,
disturbing and disappointing,
the youth.
and ridiculous all at the same time.
It is, and
For Muslims in the
Netflix
West,
promoting
this is
this.
almost only where you find Muslims falling for red pill is in the West. I find it very strange that they do at all. Because the red pill way of thinking almost eliminates the possibility of you getting married. And I think that it largely grows out of,
They against marriages.
not I think, it does. It grows out of the dating scene.
It does. It basically taking away
All of the so-called
what God designed for
what's that
man
guy's
and
name
woman
was,
to
I
be
forgot his
husband
name.
and wife.
Tomasi. All of it was based on the dating scene. And it was based on how to be successfully promiscuous.
Sad.
That was what it was about. How to be successfully promiscuous and sleep with as many women as possible and not be rejected. Yeah, that was the goal. Yeah, that was always the original goal.
Sad. They put this
and
stuff out here.
to sort of inculcate in men an anti-marriage attitude.
Papa Doug talk
What does
about
this
this
have
a
to do with
lot.
us? This has nothing to do with us, and it leads inevitably towards inceldom, because no one's going to want you when you're so obnoxious,
That's crazy.
unless you happen to be a billionaire, you know, millionaire or billionaire. Which, what are the chances? You know, and then it will be in spite of your personality. And in which case, if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, you don't need to learn any particular attitude or any particular approach to women, because you've got your wallet, and you will get the kind of women that your wallet can get you.
Like a lot do,
Which
like
again
their attitude,
is also
what
not
you're
typical for
attracted
marriage
to, or get you what you
and family.
think you
But
want.
anyway, and there's no reason for any of this to happen among the Muslims. Like, there's no reason for there to be a Muslim incel ever, except maybe in the West. But in the Muslim world, there's no such thing as a Muslim incel. Everybody can get married. You know, someone is always going to find somebody for you. You know, your mother knows somebody, your auntie knows somebody, your father knows somebody, your whatever, your uncles. You know, the imam, matchmakers or whatnot. You know, busybody matchmakers are always going to find somebody for you, and there's no reason for you to ever go without a wife, a spouse. I think that alhamdulillah, the Muslim community in the West is still better than other communities in the West, but these sort of networks aren't as strong or as fortified as they are in the Muslim world itself. And so you do find people, you know, Muslims will feel isolated and will be struggling to how they can find somebody, and you know.
Yes, it's a lot of
if you have a
crime,
family,
murder and stuff
everyone in
on
your family
women.
is
Women
busy,
must be careful of these
busy
type
with
of
their
men's
own survival and
guys.
struggling
Must be careful.
in that part of the world. So
Muslim
I
or
can
not
see why it would be
Muslim.
more difficult for someone in the West. For
This
Muslim
is
in the
not
West,
just for
to find
Muslim.
a wife
It's a
or find
very,
husband.
very
In the West,
powerful message. You have people
they
out here
think that
promoting
tearing
certain
down
things to the youth
all of the traditional
and the people in the world, and it causing a lot of
is
effect
progress,
on marriages and home and a lot
and
more other
is
things.
like equivalent to building something. To tear it down is like
And
building
Netflix
something.
and other companies are promoting this type of
And you
stuff,
think it's oppressive.
bashing women,
all of these
bashing
traditional
men's,
structures in
and
society
etc. etc.
that have been built over the course of millennium.
Like, comment, subscribe.
And when we're not talking
Have a
about
good night.
like Muslims, when we're talking about kuffar, even they have their traditional structures. These traditional attitudes, these traditional structures, and so forth. You decided that it was all oppressive and restrictive of your freedom. And so you think that it's progress, that you have evolved and you've advanced by tearing down all of these structures that took millennium to build. I make a distinction between them and us because our structures are given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's different. These aren't things that we had to build on our own and figure out on our own. We know that Allah revealed these things, these rules. You have your people, you know, I can't imagine how hard it must have been without guidance, without revelation, to try to struggle through the muck and darkness to figure out how to build some kind of a system, some kind of a structure for society that would enable you to have longevity, that would enable you to have stability, security, safety, and reproduce. That must have been very difficult. And that's why it took you millennium to figure it out, millennia to figure it out, you know. And then just when you get to the point of kind of figuring it out, now you have generations coming along that want to tear it all down and say that it's all repressive, oppressive, suppressive, anti-freedom, and so forth. So you tear it all down in the name of freedom. And you see the result of it. Now you can't get married, you can't find a woman, you can't even have decent relations between men and women. You think you're enemies of each other. You're always trying to cheat each other.
Right,
You're always trying to take each other's
right,
stuff.
right.
I mean, like we were talking about before. This whole attitude, this whole adversarial attitude between men and women in the West, you can't separate it from capitalism. It's a very capitalist approach to relationships. It's letting capitalist, materialist thinking infect human affection, normal human feeling for between a man and a woman, to where the man is saying, well, what do you bring to the table? And if we are gonna divorce, you're gonna take half my stuff and whatever. The only reason you have the stuff is for her in the first place. You know? Yes. The only reason, like, what kind of a man are you if you want to acquire things and hoard things and have all of these toys for yourself? I mean, I'm sorry, that's so feminine. That's so feminine. That's not a manly thing. Men are not supposed to care that much about things. We want the things to make you comfortable. We want to acquire those things to make you comfortable. Our comfort is not our highest priority. It never has been. That's part of being masculine. Is being fine with being uncomfortable. That's what men have dealt with all forever. And if you're not ready to deal with that, then you're not really a man yet. You want to be a girl. You want to be pampered. And yeah, you want to be a little princess.
Never thought about it that way.
And it's contradictory, because on the one hand, you have them, the same group who's always talking about masculinity, red pill, and blah blah blah. They also like to talk about stoicism, asceticism, live the jungle man life or whatever. Meanwhile, if you get a divorce and she takes your stuff, you'll cry about it. And you want to become a millionaire so you can get the girl. So the only reason you want this is for this. So she's actually more important to you than the stuff that you're getting so that you can get her in your head. This is what you think. That if you get all of this stuff, you get this money, you get this house, you get this car, you get this what have you, this fancy job, all of that you're doing it so you can get the girl, because you think that that's the only thing that they care about. So then when you lose all of those things, when you lose the girl, why are you mad about losing those things? You didn't get it for you in the first place. Actually, this is the thing. Be honest. What you're mad about, what you're sad about, what you're upset about is losing the girl. Can't you just admit that? That's the only reason you got all of this stuff in the first place, was to get her, and now you've lost her. And that's the thing that hurts. That's the thing that you should be sad about. And that's the thing that you should be trying to avoid losing, not talk about your stuff. That's so unmanly to talk about your stuff. You haven't improved anything by tearing down all of your traditional structures. You haven't improved anything. But on the other hand, you always had a flawed foundation. From the beginning, all of your structures were built on a flawed foundation. You were building in the dark without instructions, so it was already wrong to begin with.
Right.
Now, if you've torn it down, okay, this is your opportunity
to rebuild,
to come to a well-built house, the unbreakable house of Islam. You can come to this house. Welcome. Yeah, we're very welcoming. This is the thing about Islamic supremacism. I talk about Islamic supremacy. Everyone is welcome. It's not an exclusivist supremacy. It's inclusive. Anyone can join. Anyone can become. It's not racial. It's not ethnic. It's not linguistic. It's not geographic. It's belief. And if you come in to that house